Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to take a look at the question of whether or not the Elves of Erya Uzruth could indeed become Battlemaids. But before we are going to take a closer look at this question, let me thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. Now with that said, I already made a video what happened to the elves, but here's the quick rundown. The elves came against their will to Nazarick, thus they were allowed to stay, and they are now currently living on the 6th floor of the Great Tomb of Nazarick and are attending to Aura and Mare, the twin floor guardians, although they might find it annoying on occasion. And right off the start, the freed Elves of Erya are already qualified for one half of the question, while the elves couldn't be compared to any of the proper Battlemaids right now, or rather right after they joined the Great Tomb of Nazarick. They are now currently serving as maids to Aura and Mare, which means that they already did 50% of their training that would be necessary to become a Battlemaid. But of course the power is the significant distinction between normal homunculi maids and the Plejades formation, and the weakest member of the Plejades is Shizu Delta with a level of 46, and furthermore all of them have extremely high level equipment that could only be obtained by a level 100 player back in Yggdrasil. But in this regard, Ainz Olgon might be able to properly equip all three of them quite easily, simply because he commands a vast wealth of items that he in actuality has no use for. And thanks to Nea Baraya, we know that even underleveled New World beings like the Archer would be able to use items far out of their league. And there are also items that can be used by anyone, regardless of a certain restriction or not. And given the fact that this legendary bow that Nea has received was considered a trash drop by Ainz Olgon, barely fit for beings of the level 40, 50 and 60, and 60 is really stretching it. Ainz should have access to plenty of powerful equipment in his own very item boxes and pocket dimensions. So given the amount of items Ainz has and the circumstances, Ainz should also be able to hand each of the three the equipment that would be more or less akin to what the Plejades have, although it will be somewhat weaker and it won't match quite well. So please imagine the equipment looking like that of Archer, because a bit of inconsistencies would be frankly unavoidable. And given the vast surplus of red healing potions Ainz has, he could also ensure that they have some consumable items, all without bothering inferior. Nonetheless, even this criteria could be met by Ainz, even with some slight downsides. And the last and probably also the hardest criteria the elves will have to meet is the strength criteria. And the elf needs to acquire it. But it has already been shown that Ainz is not only interested in training his New World minions, but in the case of the Lizard Man, the Death Knight, and even himself, he handed out colors that while reducing the overall stats of the wearer for the duration of its use, it will also significantly increase the amount of experience points anyone will receive. He also has the world-class item Downfall of Castle and Country, or to be more precise, Mare has it, currently equipped, and it stores and expenses experience points. Also, elves tends to live for far longer than mere humans, and even those have managed to get into the realm of heroes, aka level 30 and above, and the lizards are naturally stronger, and the same might apply to the elves. Additionally, elves have been trafficked because, among other things, they were quite powerful mages and casters. And Ainz has someone like Fluda Paradane who is all about educating strong casters in his service. And I also believe that they have received a basic combat training already, because the Elf King has made the female elves into soldiers in order to find strong elves to do things with. And we know of one, and by proxy several New World beings that have reached level 46, the level of the weakest Plejades, Shizu Delta. That being is the Ice Dragon Olasir Dark Hail Ilial and the Frost Giants that were his equals and that could have even conquered them if he would stop becoming stronger. So given the time they have, the training that they could receive, and the fact that they are already quite powerful casters, I say that if we could make it to level 46 and become somewhat comparable to the weakest plejades. As for the reason, I assume that Ainz will take the 3 elves with him to the Elven Kingdom in order to serve as guides, which will be seen as another benefit of the training he has given them by the Floor Guardians, especially by Aura and Mare. Now the question then is, what roles will they fulfill? And while the normal plejades were used as a last-ditch effort to slow the invading enemies down, so that all supreme beings could gather in the throne room for a last stand, these 3 new Battlemaids would be Aura's and Mare's personal bodyguards and advisors, since they are still quite young. Therefore they would be focused on magic casting, and would in all likelihood have received some basic physical combat training at the hands of Sebas or Cocytus, if for nothing else than to avoid another Tuar has been kidnapped situation. I mean, Ainz isn't Mario and the elves aren't Peach. But their main focus would be the augmentation of the Twin Floor Guardians, a role that they were already familiar with back when they served under Erya Uzruth, and therefore one could be trained in healing magic, one in the casting of augmentative spells, and one in illusion magic or magic that will deal out damage. And while you also served as scouts or rather as canaries under Erya, this wouldn't be the case under the twins, since Aura is an excellent ranger and scout already, especially in forested areas, their preferred field of operation. So in short, yes, I believe that the Elves of Erya Uzruth could become the Battlemaids of Aura and Mare, and I personally would really like it if this is actually the case when they return to the Elf Kingdom in the 15th volume. They could for example fight off some slain Theocracy's troop, drawing the gaze of the Elf King and thus setting off the wider plot. So to conclude this video, we might actually see them as Battlemaids in the 15th volume, under Aura and Mare. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Bad Guy Ye, Ben C, Chrissy, Crowley0221, Sia, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Dystopia II, Feral Shivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, Chromius, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Perdipentum, Personage, Primus 11, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss Rock Ed Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Zonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.